But when you qualify ACCA, it is only a start, my friend. ACCA allows you to participate in the race. It doesn't mean you
Mhm.
win the race. I worked 3 year for 3.5 year in articleship. So we used to get 300 rupees a stipend because we were hungry not for money, we were hungry to learn. It was an accidental startup. It was never strategic startup. I left my jobs. By 2011, I was the youngest chartered accountant in UK, not just Indian, to be having £1 million practice by 24. I would not recommend anybody to go blindly on the guts. Whatever situation, you should have couple of years worth of expenses as a side because it takes good couple of years to set the business.
Based on your 20 plus years of experience as a practicing accountant, what are the biggest changes you have seen in the accounting industry?
Nobody has patience. It's a myth that outsourcing people take the job from UK people. It's a myth. UK is struggling with a huge talent gap. I feel very soon more people will qualify in India as ACCA than UK. You think once I become CA ACCA, my life will be settled down or easy? Don't strive for easy life. I have never seen a hardworking person struggling. You see, destiny is very small part of our life. 10 to 20% of life is determined by destiny, but 80% of life is determined by actions. So I will say focus on action.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ace ACCA Podcast. Today, we have a guest with us whose name is Mr. Sumit Agrawal. And he's a practicing chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience, managing director of DNS Accountants, and has built a million the pound property portfolio. And alongside, uh, he's leading 40 plus offices, a group of 40 plus offices, and serving thousands of clients across the UK. So Sumit, I before we start, I just want you to give a brief intro to our audience that what you do and how you began and how you started this entrepreneurship.
Okay, thank you, Rahul, for inviting me on your podcast. I'm a qualified chartered accountant from India. I grew up in India and I was in India till 2003. I qualified in 2001 and I came to UK on student visa to do my qualification CIMA. And I qualified as CIMA in 2004. I qualified as ACCA in 2006. In the I mean, I've not qualified ICAEW, but there's a joint exchange program between ICAI India and ICAW. So I'm ICAW member as well, practicing. So I qualified as CS intermediate, company secretary intermediate in India. Then I qualified as CISA auditor as well. So by the age of 25, 26, I was passionate about studies and I was trying to get as much knowledge as possible. Just so you guys know, I worked 3 year for 3.5 year in articleship. So we used to get 300 rupees a stipend. First year, second year, we used to get 500 rupees, and third year, 800 rupees. And during my stipend period, I must have worked hardest. When I say hardest, means it used to take me 2 hours to travel to the office, 2 hours to come back. And we used to work at least 10 to 12 hours. So it was a 16-hour day, much more than what the job. And I think every single minute of my time, of those hard work, those grit, has paid me back in terms of because we were hungry not for money, we were hungry to learn during our time. I won't say that I have not made mistake, I have not been casual, but we were very serious on strategic basis that what is the purpose of training. And we used to take our seniors, respect them. We used to take wisdom from their experience. Whenever we get the opportunity, we were always into the mode of, yes, let's do it. So attitude helped us. So we got very good assignments. I must credit SKJ, Surinder K. Jain and company, Mr. Amarjit Chopra, Himanshu Biswal. There were plenty of people around that time. So Mr. Gulati, Sanjeev Gulati, and there was few more seniors with me, and we did a lot of work together. I never, I mean, I wish I could have questioned why on every work, but we used to go, we really used to give heart. So that foundation was there, even in my schooling times. I mean, the foundation was strong. We were always trying to balance out. So I think that paid us that discipline. When we came to UK, everything looked very easy. So I qualified UK exams, ACC and SEMA, whilst I was in full-time job. So in the morning, in 9 to 5, I'll give the exams. Let's say in the morning, finish, then go to job, come back home 8 o'clock, do the revision, go next day to the exam, and that's how we qualified SEMA. I mean, irony is when I came to UK, I became the lecturer in the college I used to teach. I used to study. So my foundation in UK, in India, was very strong in cost accountancy, accountancy part, and I challenged the principal of the college that your lecturers are not good, and he taunted me to why don't I teach? And I took the assignment as a challenge, and I got great feedback. And when I started my accountancy practice, I first 5 recruitments were from my teaching assignments, and in fact 3 or 4 I still am in touch with them. 2 people are still working with me even after 20 years. So, I mean, all this attitude of working as the opportunity comes along, we always took it. And I started my own practice in 2005 once I cleared SEMA. Again, this is a story in a sense that it was an accidental startup. It was never strategic startup. I was happy in what I was doing in my roles, whether it was lecturing in college. I was tax consultant in a company called Prison Services, which is a quasi-government body. I was getting good money in 2005. I managed to buy a home, which was my dream home at that time. But around that time, there were so many Indians coming in IT consulting at AI 35, and I was just helping them out. And they forcefully asked me to start and become their accountant. Some of them knew me from India, being an auditor in India. So it was accidental startup in 2005. By 2007, I was super busy. I became full time. I left my jobs. By 2011, I was the youngest chartered accountant in UK, not just Indian, to be having £1 million practice. By 2018 or 17, we were £5 million practice. And since then, I've been acquiring firms, and now we are top 50 practice. As an Indian accounting firm, we may be largest by miles, but
Mhm.
even as an independent accountant, we might be one of the largest. So we own around 40 offices in UK, a turnover of 25 million plus. We service more than 20,000 clients. But saying this, we never planned anything that we have to become 25 million pound business. We never planned strategically. What we did plan that whatever we do, we want to become best. We want to service best. We want to automate process. We want to provide great service. And we never stopped at just talking to, we never get relaxed in a sense that, okay, we have done enough, we have achieved enough. We never took success as a perception of a absolute value in terms of either monetary or offices. We took success as the outcome of our support to our customers. So whether it is the service we are providing, what impact we are making into the lives of our customers. So that was a big motivation. And also, we have 250 people working in UK. We have around 110 people working in back office in India. So we believed significantly in a model called PPTT, People Process Technology Training. We also use a model called ABCD, which we categorize client, but PPTT is very fundamental to our training. So whether it are teams in India, teams in UK, they all go through training. We support private medical insurance for our team. We support unlimited education. We sponsor literally everybody. So all these things are paid off in terms of loyal teams, our spirit, our vision. And I mean, our goal is to become top 20 and largest accounting firm for small businesses in UK. There are plenty of people who are doing accounting firms and they take pride in servicing larger clients, but nobody in UK takes pride in servicing small clients. So we are creating solutions, we are creating platforms which no other accounting firm can manage for smaller firms. So that's the kind of business we are trying to create. So yeah, that's about us.
Okay, thank you so much, Sumit. That's very really inspiring. So, in your first year of building your practice, what were the biggest struggles you faced?
I mean, when we start, of course, everybody starts with some connection, some network. But when I started in UK, I had no family. I mean, if I would have started my accounting practice in India, chartered accountancy practice, at least I had connections, family connections. But in UK, I started literally from ground zero. But as I said, I never, it was an accidental startup. So in initial thing, I was helping clients, my friends, casually without charging money. So I was forced to start. So really,
Okay.
I did never had that huge struggle of getting clients because clients were coming to me because the good part is in UK at that time, the accountants may not be great. And most of the Indian clients were very keen to work with me, that comfort, relativity. So touch wood, in my case, I did not have that much struggle of getting clients. But if let's say I did not have those clients, when I was trying to get new clients, local clients, that's where I found real struggle because I had no connection. So,
Mhm.
but I followed the process. I followed the system. I never let the negativity come into my mind because I was rejected hundreds of times. But even for small clients, I would travel 2 hours just to meet them. So any like startup, I think don't follow what Jeff Bezos is doing or Elon Musk is doing because they are already at a level. So when you start, behave like a startup. When you grow, behave like a corporate. Okay. So follow the pattern of the journey in the organization. When I started, my biggest challenge was getting customers, mainly small business customers. I was getting IT contractors.
Okay.
I started going and seeing them, and I had zero experience of helping them out. I can do year an account, but I had zero experience of talking cash flow language and solutions in UK. So I learned self-learned quite a lot by experiencing, by reading. So first 2 years was learning curve. Good thing was financially I was a lot more stable because I had my job.
Mhm.
So I would not recommend anybody to go blindly on the guts without any financial backing. So when you start a business, if you are married, your wife should be in good job. If you're not married, if you're living in joint family, your brother, your parents should have supported you, or whatever situation, you should have couple of years worth of expenses as a side because it takes good couple of years to set the business, especially even if you are working from one office desk these days. Software costs so much, office space is expensive, and you cannot come across like in olden days as a very simple person. I think very simple setup. Clients want to see positioning very important. They don't want to deal with somebody who do not have the network. So
Mhm.
please, I would strongly recommend when you start business, have at least 2 years of buffer, not 6 months. 6 months is not enough time to build brand, to build business. And luckily, from all that angles, I was well covered. My wife was in good job. I had a lot of people coming to me just because of my Indian network. I was lucky as an Indian chartered accountant. There were not many in UK. So from that perspective, I'm fully blessed. And so work was not never a problem. What was the challenge was getting the local clients because people never knew me. That was a big challenge.
Mhm. And now you serve approx 25,000 plus clients across the UK. That's really very, very inspiring. So based on your 20 plus years of experience as a practicing accountant, what are the biggest changes you have seen in the accounting industry?
I think as a practicing accountant, what I'm seeing with AI, with technology, nobody has patience. 20 years ago, when a client will email me, they had patience of 24 hours. They have patience of 48 hours. We would get a call. Now everything is so fast. Your system need to move. And the cost of mistake, the cost of a simple deadline mistake, compliance mistake is huge. And HMRC as an agency has become very strong, very tight. They've got so much data. So you have to stick to the right side of the law. You cannot take even the benefit of doubts. You have to be on compliance, top of the league, ethically top of the league. There is no room for any of these maneuvers. So you're very tightly monitored from your professional bodies, from HMRC. And on top of that, clients' expectations are huge. And as a startup accountant, anybody, It is a huge challenge to do marketing, to service clients, to service HMRC, to service insurance bodies, to service professional bodies. So there's a significant element of overwhelming approach. So ideally, I would recommend if you find the right person to become partner with, and you can divide certain areas, you understand yourself, expertise, and if you can compensate each other, that would be great support. Otherwise, I mean, in my time, I was lucky in a sense that we were not moving that fast. If I made a mistake, the cost of mistake was not high. But in today's time, I really pity the new startup accountants because the standard expected are much higher than what we were doing. So we were lucky in that sense. But yes, we did not have those much resources. So even to do a one simple flyer, it would take me 4 days to go to the printer to get the design. But today, you guys can do that in 10 minutes in ChatGPT or Claude. So there are some drawbacks. You can grow the business a lot faster in digital marketing. Sitting in India, you can be doing jobs for UK accountant, which was never thought of or heard of
Mhm.
20 years ago. So there are pros and cons, but I would still say that the market is becoming a lot challenging and the competition, the expectations are a lot higher. So I really hats off to anybody who starts today and becomes successful because it's really juggling a lot of things.
Correct. Absolutely correct. And what about the outsourcing industry? What do you think that how the outsourcing industry is playing a role comparatively? Is it helpful for the employers who are the sole practitioners, who are the small UK accountancy practices, who are outsourcing in India or say Pakistan? So
I think
is it,
the
yeah.
outsourcing industry has played a very crucial role in positive way, not even a single negative. Firstly, it's a myth that outsourcing people take the job from UK people. It's a myth. Anybody who is good in UK, they're working hard. Nobody has ever lost a job. Nobody.
Correct.
People who are really wasting time, people who are not working and they're just taking Mickey Mouse out of the employers, yes, they may have lost a job due to outsourcing. But outsourcing is a blessing to UK. If there was no outsourcing, we would not have been able to deliver such a complex compliance delivery work. So whether it is outsourcing in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Philippines, South Africa, they all have played very important role. And UK do not have that many good accountants. They may be
Mhm.
accountant, but many are trapped. I mean, if I interview 10 people, I might recruit one, but maybe my standards are high. But all I'm saying, UK is struggling with a huge talent gap in accounting
Mhm.
sector. On top of that, HMRC, government bodies, ethics, the expectation is of very high standard. So that gap is huge. And if there was no outsourcing, we would have never been able to deliver that, fill that gap. So outsourcing industry is very critical part of our UK accounting industry. I do not see how it will go down. I can see now bookkeeping has been automated, payrolls are getting automated. So bookkeeping data entry work is getting reduced, but technically the analysis work, analytical work, the quality of work that outsourcing teams are doing is becoming better and high end. So they are working rather than outsourcing more like a very intrinsic part of the team.
Mhm.
And that has actually gone in favor of outsourcing industry because now we have become a lot more open in accepting outsourcing. So I personally feel outsourcing and in India, ACCA is becoming so powerful. I feel very soon more people will qualify in India as ACCA than UK. So really,
Absolutely.
if they're qualified ACCA, I would rather not appoint someone is here. I would rather appoint qualified ACCA in India. For me, it doesn't make any difference because I would be feeling far more comfortable dealing with someone qualified in India rather than non-qualified in UK.
Mhm. Absolutely. And you also built Nomi, which is a cloud-based accounting software. So, what inspired you to create your own accounting software? The software which you're using before, were they not enough sufficient, or were they lacking some services, or what?
No, no, it's purely the monetary aspect. When we were growing very fast, by 2011, I was million-pound practice. We had already close to 1,000 contractors. So I approached Zero, Quibo, Sage. because a lot of accountants are providing the access of these
Mhm.
softwares for finalizing. What I realized, these softwares were charging fortune, and my fees were a little bit lower end because Indian client base or Asian client base, they are always price sensitive. So I thought to myself, if I'm going to pay this much to software companies, I will lose significant profits.
Mhm.
So I discussed what is the solution situation. Luckily, I had a lot of IT contractors as my clients and friends. So I
Mhm.
started discussing with them. So we started with a small tool called expense management for IT contractors so that they can submit their expenses,
Mhm.
because the expenses part was a big part in that time for IT contractors. We had to make sure that the temporary accommodation rule, 24-month rule is sorted, expenses are all genuine. And then we improved to the invoicing. We said, okay, you manage your invoices and expenses through here. As long as I get invoices and expenses, I can work out your monthly P&L and dividend. So contractors used to take monthly wages and dividends and expenses. So the idea was, if I'm earning £10,000 a month, contractor through my limited company, £500 a day, how much is my taxes? How much is the expenses? I can take wages, I can take in profits. They don't want to wait for the whole year to take out the profit. So we needed a
Mhm.
system to record expenses, income, then work out the financial report automated. So we used to produce this report from Nomi, all these things. And suddenly I became hit because contractors were getting clarity. And I thought, this is good. Why don't I convert this into proper bookkeeping system so that I don't have to duplicate this whole thing into another software?
Mhm.
And we tried to save the cost, and we did quite deal. Then bookkeeping, we thought, okay, we don't have a good automated system in self-assessment, then final accounts, and then payroll, and then practice management. And then we said, we will develop and manage everything on Nomi. So from last 3, 4 years, we have invested significantly, and I started buying many firms because I thought, when I use Nomi, my number of manpower required reduces. So every time I buy accounting firm, I try and put them on Nomi. The idea is that we create efficiency of integration. It's very interconnected. So if you update payroll, it updates self-assessment and taxes. When you update dividends, it updates self-assessment. It updates management accounts. You don't have to do double entry. When you update address change of director, it updates all the places. You don't have to do anything
Yeah.
else. So we felt it made the job very easy. And obviously, that was the motivation. So for developing Nomi, now Nomi is going great. It's a very powerful tool for our business, but we do use other software as well. And we have integrated Nomi, connected to Free Agent, Zero, QuickBooks, Sage, a lot of things going on. But it's a journey which I enjoy because I want to give back something to accounting industry. So Nomi is my way of giving back to accounting industry and making compliance profitable. Another thing which was my motivation was, a lot of people say compliance is dead. It's very hard to make money in compliance. We wanted to give Nomi to the accountant so that they can automate 90% of compliance and make good money in compliance. Because a lot of
Mhm.
advisors, they don't have any clue what they're talking about.
Absolutely correct. Uh, I saw the website and it comparatively it provides at a lower price company secretarial services to others
Yeah,
in compared
yeah,
to other softwares.
yeah.
So, Sumit, what are the key habits that have contributed more to your success?
I think key habit is never give up. I always believe that there must be some way, there must be solution. And I always believe in transparency, communication, ethics. So I've kept my team together. I've shared my vision with them all the time. I've never hidden anything from team so that I was able to keep the team together and build a team. You cannot build a great business. You can be a greatest, best accountant in the world. You can be best chef in the world. But to build the business, you need to able to build a team. So if you don't know how to build a team, you can be the all India rank holder one chartered accountant, but you'll never be able to build the business. So my key habit was always, I was never selfish in a sense that it's not about me only. So I always kept the team together, the fairness, reward system, understanding what's going in market, understanding people as people, not just seeing them as a tool to get what you want. empathy. So it's a balance of good human being, and I'm very kind of understand the spirituality, body, mind, soul thing, and there's a lot of depth in that. But my understanding of body, mind, soul, spirituality, Atma, Paramatma, I'm not saying it is anything to do with the religion, but it helps me uh, understand people better, psychology better, dealing with them better. So the biggest asset is if you have the ability to keep the team together, understand them, understand their requirements, vision. And if you're thinking only about your profit, you will never be able to grow business. But if you're thinking about them as well, what they are, how they are going to benefit by working with you, what you are going to do to build their career, then you will be able to grow much better. And that's what we've done. And this is why we are the only very few company in whole UK. We have a dedicated training department, training team.
Okay.
No other accounting practice in UK have got dedicated training
Mhm.
teams. We have a dedicated training team like university. We build our courses to train our employees.
Not just theoretically, but practically.
Yeah, we are practically. I mean, it is all video driven, automated. It is exam driven. But we wanted to make sure that yes, our employees reach certain quality, and when they talk to the clients, we also feel comfortable in terms of quality. That was the idea.
Okay. Thank you. That's very insightful. So, can you walk us through what a productive day looks like for you?
If productive days eat your frog, sometimes we fill our diaries with too much to-do list. And I have lived
Mhm.
my whole life to-do list, but over the period now I've realized it's not about to-do list. Every day, think what is most important task, or think, do you know something which is bothering you throughout the day? Just finish that task or finish that job first. If you have to review three accounts, you can do 200 calls, but if still in your mind those three accounts are spinning around,
Right.
then please focus on those three accounts, finish that. So eat your frog, something to do with do the difficult task first. Don't delay them,
Mhm.
don't procrastinate. So my successful day, but usually my successful day is with I will do some exercise, I will do yoga, meditation, then I will read some Bhagavad Gita. That is towards the end. But my day has to have 4 or 5 elements, which is running or walking, exercise, 10-15 minute exercise, 10-15 minute meditation, 1 hour yoga, which I do 2 to 3 times a week. But and then reading Bhagavad Gita or something. But these are 4 or 5 things which are fundamental. Apart from that work, there is always challenge. I mean, there is never a day in life where you always say, okay, once I do this thing, that my next 10 days will be relaxed. So I have learned that hard way. So if any of you are studying ACCA or CA, if you think once I become CA, ACCA, my life will be settled down or easy, don't strive for easy life. Then you'll achieve nothing, only frustration. You understand that, okay, life is tough, life is bitch, meaning of life, and you accept that part. Once you are in acceptance mode and then karma mode, action mode, it will be so easy. And don't try and do
Mhm.
200 things. Don't go by to-do list. This is all crap, outdated method. To-do list is good for junior level employees, but for leaders, you think of strategic vision, you think of keeping team together, think of tough issues.
So, after completing ACC, what would you recommend as the next step?
I mean, yeah, anybody who has done ACCA, I would request them to really think what they want to do in life. Of course, we are on a platform podcast. I'm an accounting industry. Yes, you can join outsourcing firm. You can approach accountants direct. You can try and come to UK. There is some exchange program between India and UK. But if you want to develop career in accounting, especially in outsourcing or UK practice industry, don't pre- don't think now I'm a big person, I'm ACCA qualified. Please think that from UK perspective, people still see you as from India. People still do not count you that seriously. So even if first job is 6 months is volunteering, do volunteering. Remember, I did stipend for 3 years. We were working for 300, 400, 500 rupees. Don't go after money. Go after experience. Go after right company. Spend quality time. Be honest. Then money will follow you. Once you have the skill, once you have independence, money will follow you. system gets rewarded. But a lot of ACCAs, young people, they have a very transactional mindset. Of course, some people really need money for their family perspective, but if you can afford to, focus on right company, not the right package straight away. Because right package
Absolutely.
is no package. Somebody can deserve 3 lakh per annum, somebody can deserve 30 lakh per annum.
Mhm.
That value perception, if you say I can't work less than 10 lakh, that's fine. But if you're sitting at home for 6 months just because nobody's offering you 10 lakh per annum, that is stupidity. So do
Correct.
not, when you qualify ACCA, it is only a start, my friend. ACCA allows you to participate in the race. It doesn't mean you
Mhm.
win the race.
Correct.
ACCA is a qualifier. So my
Mhm.
request to you guys is becoming ACCA do not mean you win the race. You're participating. Let's say you go for a World Cup, India. ACCA means you're participating in World Cup.
Correct.
Now, if you
Absolutely
have to
correct.
win the World Cup, you have to play the game. Now, if you say,
And
no, I'm not playing the game if this do not happen, or I do not get the desired wages, then you're going to be not on the field, you're outside the field. So be mindful that after becoming ACCA, do not raise your expectation. If you're in current job, don't say, now I'm ACCA, now I'm getting 4 lakh, I need to get 8 lakh. Nobody likes it. But as an ACCA, you should be able to communicate to your employer your value, what you can do. So you need to show that
Mhm.
maturity as a leader.
Correct. Thank you. One final advice, Sumit. What is the one piece of advice you would give to every accountant listening to us today?
I will say focus on your karma, action. That is the biggest dharma, which is the biggest duty. So lazy person, if you're lazy, nothing can help you. Even if you're the most intelligent person, people say lazy person find ways to do the tech, and I don't believe in all that crap. So I would say keep working hard, keep striving, don't let negativity come. My biggest advice is just don't do ACCA and think that you'll be successful. So focus on action, focus on learning, keep the attitude right. There is plenty of world, plenty of people looking for the right people. So even if things are not working for you right now, they will work for you. I have never seen a hardworking person struggling. You see, destiny is very small part of our life. 10 to 20% of life is determined by destiny, but 80% of life is determined by actions. So I will say focus on action. If you are not qualified, work hard, become qualified. Now, some people don't have aptitude for accountancy, then accept it. If you still want to be in accounting field, then don't follow ACCA, focus on experience. But ideally, qualification like ACCA is a big platform because it allows you, it opens the door for many, many things. So I would strongly recommend if you're studying, do not give up. Please pass the exams. If you are into job, you have already qualified ACCA, don't give up that you're not getting great opportunity. Find the right companies, understand, develop soft skills. But again, my one piece of advice is focus on karma. That is your biggest dharma.
Quick rapid fire round, Sumit. One skill every accountant must have.
Strong math,
One habit that changed your life.
spirituality,
Compliance or advisory.
advisory.
AI is a threat or opportunity.
If used right way, it's a great opportunity.
Job or business.
Always business.
And a last one advice to younger yourself.
I wish I had learned about Bhagavad Gita. I wish I was not that restless. I wish I believed in God. I believed in faith. I wish I was not blaming the world. I wish I had given a little bit more time to my family, balance. So there were plenty of advice, but one advice is to I will give to myself is that really focus on what is going good in our life, gratitude mode. Because what I realized as a human being when I was growing up, I would always focus on negatives happening in my life. I never focus on how lucky I was. that my parents sent me to UK. How lucky I was that I studied in English school. How lucky I was that they sponsored me to do CA. When we are studying in India, I was fully sponsored. I was not doing job to earn money.
Mhm.
My parents were sending me money. In UK, people do jobs and qualifications simultaneously.
Correct.
So yeah, I would say to younger myself, I would say the advice that I wish I was in gratitude mode, thank you mode, because we don't realize how lucky we are sitting here doing all this talk, because that shifts the pattern of life. Plus, I wish I had a good knowledge of spirituality and understanding of life, body, mind, soul, how it works, what is man, what is shaitan, and all that. And this topic is not about promoting Gita at all. Gita is not as religious scripture, just so you know. I respect Quran and I've read Bible as well, as much as possible. But it's just a spiritual book about your inner soul and what who you are. And that connection makes your life a lot more easier.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sumit. It was truly amazing speaking with you. You shared a very practical and valuable insights. I'm sure our audience will gain a lot of insight from this. Thank you so much for your time, Sumit.
Pleasure. Pleasure, Rahul. Thank you very much once again for inviting me. And I'm glad that if any of you on your platform can use this, and if they get
Mhm.
inspired, I'll be very, very full of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you very much.